What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me today. I have two great things to talk about. One's an announcement and the other one is just a talking point. The first thing is I finished my rank list today. Certified. February 26th, rank lists are due. So my rank list for the residency programs, they're due for every single student that is participating in the match this year. U.S. students, foreign medical graduate students, students that have graduated medical school, did research after and applying to residency. This is the day that they are due. And match day is coming so soon, less than 4 weeks away. I cannot believe it.
What's up, y'all? If y'all haven't already done so, follow me on my Instagram, Mr. Danny Lopez.
So we're so excited and we're so pumped because we have so much peace about our list that we made, and there was a lot of changes, there was a lot of ups and downs, and thinking about what positive and negative things were from each program, and no program is perfect. That's what you have to realize, because no one is perfect. Nothing is perfect. There's gonna be some faults. There's gonna be some negative things that you don't like. There's gonna be some great things that you do like. But there's not going to be a place where every single thing is perfect. But that's where you can come in. And when you see some place where you want to go and you say, you know what, maybe they do need to brush up on this or brush up on that, then maybe you can be the catalyst to that change. So it's amazing. It's so exciting. In less than 4 weeks, Jessica and I will figure out where we're spending the next 3 years of our life. It could literally be anywhere from the western side of United States all the way to the East Coast and in Florida. So we're excited. We're so pumped up. The next thing I want to talk about, it's more of a talking point. It's about this USMLE Step 1 changing to pass or fail. My buddy sent it over to me 2 weeks ago, and I was just amazed. I really was. I was in shock because, as you know, or if you don't know, the USMLE Step 1 is one of the 3 board exams you take as a medical student to get your medical license, either a DO or an MD license, okay, in the United States. If you're out of the country, they're different. But if you want to practice medicine in the United States, you have to take 3 board exams. The first one you usually take after your second year of med school, okay? Some schools take it after the third year of med school, but across the board, most of the time, it's after the first year of med school. And that is USMLE Step 1. And this exam has biochemistry on it. It does have regular disease processes and physiology, which is the function of the human body, pathology, which is the diseases of the human body. So it does have that on there, but it's not that clinically based, okay? It's not more of like the step further of, well, what are we gonna give this patient if they're allergic to something? That's more of the second board exam. So the first board exam is more of a lot of book knowledge. There's a lot of memorization, but there is a lot of good fundamental stuff. It is a standardized test. It's pass-fail now. Before, they used to give you a 3-digit score, and they could see where you're at ranked among all the other applicants. And this is a huge test to indicate your competitiveness. And that's why it was such a shock to me, because the residency programs, they scale you out. They basically screen you and say, okay, the numbers matter first, because we want to accept someone into our program that in 3 or 5 years after residency with that specific specialty, they're not going to have a problem passing their specialty board exam, which there's 1 exam per specialty at the end where you have to pass. For me, I'm doing a 3-year residency of emergency medicine. So after those 3 years, I'm going to have an emergency medicine board exam to pass. And the programs want to make sure that they're accepting a student that's going to be a great test taker as well, and that's not going to be a person that's going to give them trouble in passing a test, because that's their reputation as well. Residency programs have percentages of, this is our pass rate, 98%, 100% pass rate of our graduates of our program. So this is a huge deal. And so now that it's pass-fail, it's kind of hard to assess that competitiveness. What I think is going to happen is that residency programs are going to start leaning towards the Step 2 exam. So the USMLE Step 2 exam is usually done after your 3rd year of medical school. And if you want to know what that one is about, I have a video on that. And basically, it is a clinical exam. Okay, there is a multiple choice part to it, And there is another time that is a actual patient encounter. You see about 10 to 12 patients. There's 2 parts of the exam. So it's all clinically based, okay? You still have the pathology. You still have the disease processes you need to know, but more of the medications, more of the actual patient scenarios, more of the ethics in medicine. So more clinically relevant. And so that test is not weighted as strong as step 1, usually. Some programs say, well, you know what? We want a clinically sound physician, so we know that if they did well on that one, they're going to do well. So other programs are different. So I think they're going to start weighing heavily on that one. However, this is the thing. Some programs will interview you and actually see your competitiveness before that step 2 exam is even taken. I've known a lot of people that have gotten interviews and everything that have taken that step 1 exam, but have not even taken step 2 yet, because they might have done really well in step 1. And they're like, well, let me just hold off on step 2, because if I don't do as well on step 2, it's not going to look good on my part. So, it's kind of like, well, are they just going to wait now, or are they going to actually have it mandatory that you take step 2 before you apply? That's in early summertime, right? So it's really difficult, but I really believe my true thought process behind this is, I'm like a little like, oh man, why wasn't it pass fail for me? I busted my butt. I studied so hard for that exam, months and months out. And I'm like, well, now it's pass fail for them. But you know what? At the end of the day, that exam had so much weight on it that the first day of med school, I was already thinking about it. I bought a first aid USMLE step 1 book on Amazon. I will remember that day, and it was $32 before I even got accepted to medical school, because it was so hyped up on all these forums and all that this exam was like the exam of your life. And so I found myself halfway into my second year of med school. I look back and I'm like, man, I literally just been studying for a stupid test this entire time. You forget about the patients, you forget about the ethics, you forget about all the different things that go along into being a doctor, into being a good doctor, that you just start studying for this standardized test, and it makes you somewhat a less of a clinician in my mind. And so now that it's pass fail, I hope that what happens here is that status of that exam and that priority in the medical student's life for their first 2 years is that exam. I hope it actually diminishes, and that they actually get to focus on, man, how do we become a good doctor? Because your first 2 years of med school isn't just sitting in a classroom, isn't just sitting in a lecture. Yeah, that's a lot of it, but you do see patients. You do see standardized patients, but you also do see regular patients. You're not in the hospital every day, but you will once a week, once every other week, see patients. And so it'll get your mindset off of that exam. But I think what's going to happen now is that the mindset is going to be on step 2. The only way to solve this is actually get applications from students and look at other things besides scores. I think everyone that gets into med school is competent to take an exam. They're competent to pass an exam. They've had good GPAs, had good MCAT scores, or maybe mediocre, or maybe one was better than the other. But overall, they're going to be successful in medical school. The USMLEs, I don't think they should be stopped. They should continue, because I believe you should have a fundamental knowledge in order to go on to third year as your clinical. I mean, you can't understand what a pulmonary embolism is if you haven't studied the physiology behind pulmonary pressure, behind VQ mismatch, behind chest pain, shortness of breath. Why do they get this? What is a dimer? What is CT scans? You have to know these things in order to go on. So yeah, you have to take these board exams, right? Or else we'll have doctors that are just slacking and they don't know their stuff. Talking about people's lives, patients' lives in their hands. So I do believe they should continue this, but the whole pass-fail thing, man, it's such a huge deal right now, and so many people are talking about it. And I want to hear your comments below, whether you're a pre-med student, whether you're in medical school or a doctor right now. What do you think about this? Comment below, man. I really am interested to hear your opinions on this. Thank you guys for tuning in. Man, stay tuned. I'm giving away a free Sketchy bundle pack, which is a Sketchy IM, Sketchy Peds, and Sketchy Surgery. I love Sketchy Medicine. If you're in medical school right now, you've probably heard of it. It is amazing. I literally bank my step 1 and step 2 scores off Sketchy Medicine. They're the ones that got me the score. Like, those things are awesome. If you have a photographic memory, If you like visual art, this is the way to go. And so I'm giving away three-month packages. Okay, that'll be early March. So stay tuned for that, guys. I love you. God loves you. Peace out.